Hello children, good morning. Welcome for today's biology class. So today we are going to study the chapter breathing and exchange of gases. So in this chapter today we are going to cover breathing, what is breathing, and regarding respiratory organs and human respiratory system. Okay, now let us go inside the chapter. So here, during when we are not taking food, we take various food, and that food is digested, and the nutrient, it is getting mobilized to bloodstream. Okay, macromolecules are converted into micromolecules, and the nutrient molecule, mainly the carbohydrate, that is the energy giving compound. So that is being circulated in the form of glucose, and proteins are converted into amino acids. Okay, and the fats are converted into fatty acids, and they are being mobilized inside the bloodstream. So here main nutrient molecule here used is glucose, what we studied regarding glycolysis in the previous chapter. So during glycolysis, breakdown of glucose occur and energy is released. Okay, so side by side, for the breaking down of glucose, that is breaking down of nutrient molecules like glucose, what do they need? They need oxygen. And where do you get that oxygen? You get the oxygen by means of respiration. Okay, and during that time carbon dioxide is produced. So oxygen, it has to be taken and it is utilized. So in breaking down of food, and the liberated carbon dioxide, that is carbon dioxide produced by the cells, it has to be exhaled out. Okay, so here when you observe, so that is main thing, breathing. So exchange of gases, along with that various process occurring throughout the body. So we are going to study exchange of gases in the lungs, exchange of gases in the tissues, how the oxygen is mobilized to tissues, and how the carbon dioxide is taken from the tissues to the lungs for exhaling out. We are detailing going to study. So here in this respiratory organs, let us study various respiratory organs in different organisms. Lower invertebrates like sponges, coelenterates, flatworms, okay, they just exchange oxygen with carbon dioxide by means of simple diffusion over the entire body surface. They can do exchange of gases. They don't have special respiratory organ. Entire body surface they can do exchange of gases by means of simple diffusion. When you observe earthworms, they have moist skin. So through that they do cutaneous respiration, exchange of gases that occur. And in the case of insects, so insects, the tracheal system, the special tracheal system is there inside the body, and through the tracheal system, that atmospheric air, it moves inside the body and exchange of gas occur and later exhaled out. They don't have what we have, the lungs and all, they don't have that specialized structure. They have only the tubes, nothing else. And when you in the case of some aquatic arthropods and mollusks and all, so they have gills, and it is used for exchange of gases. And we have in the case of highly evolved organisms, vertebrates and all terrestrial forms, so they use lungs for exchange of gases. So let us study what is respiration, what is happening here. So actually the cellular respiration, it is the release of energy, what we studied. So it breakdown of food in presence of oxygen. The release of energy, so from the food, breaking down of food, what is circulated through bloodstream to various cells, it occurs in cells, that's why you call that a cellular respiration. It occurs in presence of oxygen. When you observe, so here after cellular respiration, there should be other thing also, the process of exchange of gases. What the carbon dioxide liberated, it has to be given out, and the oxygen, it has to be taken in. Okay, uptake of oxygen and liberation of carbon dioxide. So between RBC and alveoli it occurs. So breathing, actually it is the simply mechanical intake of air, but anyhow during that time we release, exhaling of air also occurs. So what is human respiration? In the case of human respiratory system, mainly to obtain oxygen, we have special respiratory organ, lungs, it is there. So in our body, the breathing, it consists of two main phases, that is inspiration and expiration, that is inhalation and exhalation. During inhalation, that is the process of intaking of air, that you call that as inspiration or inhalation. Expiration, that is exhalation. During that time, the process of blowing out air. Okay, so in the first diagram, there will be inhalation. The second diagram, it tells regarding exhalation. Now let us study regarding internal respiration. So all cells, they require oxygen for metabolism. So without that they are not able to break down the food. If they don't break down the food, they won't be getting no energy for working also, for metabolic activities. They need energy. Okay, so for the energy, so they need oxygen, the breaking down of food. All cells require the same thing. Whatever the carbon dioxide produced, it has to be removed out also. And gaseous exchange, it occurs at cellular level. Actually the original gaseous exchange, it occurs one in alveoli and other place at the tissues, cellular level it occurs. So in the case of external respiration, that is ventilation, it involves ventilation, that is exchange of air between lungs and atmosphere. Okay, one exchange of gases, it occurs in tissues, so other exchange of gases, it occur in the alveoli. Okay, so first exchange of gases between lungs and atmosphere, and later gaseous exchange in pulmonary capillaries. Then breathing, that actually when you observe the breathing, it is involuntary activity. So what you are doing ventilation time, when you are inhaling air, or exhaling out, that is simply by means of involuntary activity. Human respiratory system, we have a pair of nostrils, external nostrils, and it continues into nasal passage, and later the nasal chamber, it opens inside nasopharynx, and it may actually, then this portion of a pharynx, and it is a common passage for food and air. Nasopharynx, it opens through glottis of the larynx region into the trachea. So larynx is a cartilaginous box and it helps in sound production. So that's why you call that as sound box also. Okay, so here the glottis is covered by one small flap-like structure that you call that as epiglottis. So it prevents so while you are taking food, so it closes and the glottis. This is the human respiratory system: epiglottis, larynx, trachea, and pleural membrane. Pleural membrane is the covering of lungs, membrane-like structure covering the lungs, that is pleural membrane. Alveoli, then you can see the bronchiole and all. We see the sources of respiration, structures of respiratory system. So there is upper respiratory tract and lower respiratory tract. Upper respiratory tract involves nose, pharynx, epiglottis, larynx, and trachea, and lower respiratory tract, it involves bronchial tree and lungs. Okay, so it is the components of upper respiratory tract. Below that, lower respiratory tract is there. This is in a diagrammatic feature, tells the entire this components of upper respiratory tract. You can see the nostril, okay, and you can see the glottis also, and apart from that, a glottis is covered by this epiglottis, and along with that, can you see the esophagus also here, and this is the trachea. Okay, all are coming under this respiratory. Even you can see in this portion, you can see both the digestive tract and the respiratory tract. There is esophagus also present. Apart from that, trachea also present here. Okay, so these are the various components of upper respiratory tract. Okay, in the coming this parts, we will study detailing the other how does the exchange of gases occur, how the blood it is carrying out the oxygen, carbon dioxide, and all we will study in the coming part. This is just introductory part of the chapter. Later we will study the things in detail. Okay children, thank you.